So I could come up with 101 tips to teach you to be a better player, but that's really not going to help you. You need to do a self-evaluation and figure out, why is it that you're dying? What's killing you? Think back on all your deaths. Do you die early in matches, in the mid-game, or late game? When you do die, were you surprised, or were you just outgunned? Think of these things that as we go over this. I'm going to ask you some more questions, and you just have to keep thinking about, what is it that gets you killed? You know, whenever you see enemies, do you wait until they leave cover, or do you just start shooting at them? Because if they don't have cover and you start taking your shots, they have nowhere to go. They're easy pickings. You also need to know, do you adapt in firefights? Can you use any scope in the game? Can you use your iron sights? Can you use hip fire? Can you do third-person aiming? You know, there's a lot of things you have to think about. Do you win the close range battles? Are you better at assaulting a building or defending a building? Can you control stairs? How good are you at the hip fire? Do you win or do you lose? Whenever you come under fire, do you panic? If something unexpected happens, do you know what to do? How often are you paying attention to your surroundings? Do you see anything abnormal? Do you catch the unexpected? Are you watching the circle? Do you get killed by the play zone very much? How fast does it take for you to react in a gunfight? Have you ever killed an entire squad by yourself? When you know the answer to a lot of these questions, you can change your gameplay to fit you and help you win or kill more, whatever you like to do in this game. And my biggest question of all, do you know where your killer was at? So no one can answer these questions except for you. And when you can start to answer these questions, you'll start winning or getting more kills. And these are the big questions that I have. I always ask myself, all right, what did I do? What did I do wrong? How could I do better? When I make all these videos, that's really what I'm doing, is I'm analyzing myself, looking at what I did right, what I did wrong, so I can change it in the future. And that's what you have to do too. I can't just give you, easy tips on how to be better, because every single situation in PUBG is always different. And if you can master certain techniques, it'll increase your odds of winning. So let me get into my thoughts. So as I sold this building, my first thing is, I know the guy's upstairs, but I wanted to check the bottom story first, make sure he didn't have a teammate hiding in a room. Once I was secure that this building was empty, that's when I started watching the stairs. If you can master learning how to assault the stairs, that's the most critical piece of buildings. I actually let this guy crawl there because I knew he would block any teammates from coming up all the way. And that's exactly what happened. Now, the mistake that this guy makes is revealing his whole body. He shouldn't have done that. I was able to use a third person, watch where he came, or watch as he approached the stairs, and I started shooting before I even peeked my head around the staircase. Whenever you start to loot, make sure that you put your camera in a position where you can watch your own back. I see that happen a lot with my own team. Is they'll start looting and they'll put their screen down and they're just watching the crate. So I was able to quickly come out of the menu and take out that third guy. Now, I knew there was a fourth player, so I'm watching and waiting, and he was actually to my right. I didn't know he was there, but I was able to get behind some cover. And we just pause and wait. I'm just going to peek around the corner. But now that I don't see him, instead of just waiting here, my thought is he could be flanking me. So I immediately go and check my flank, and sure enough, there he is. So now that I see that he's taken cover, now's my opportunity, because he's probably doing some type of a heal. Now I can get a little bit closer to him and move over here where he can't see me and maybe surprise him. But I see he hasn't moved this way, so instead of rushing him, which I really wanted to do, I decided to just back up, play it safe, and then sure enough, here he comes. If I had stayed there, I'd have got him, but even coming over here, I was still safe behind cover and able to finish him off. So now that I knew that these guys were pulling up, I did want to take some shots, maybe to just scare them off, but they'd already jumped out, so they committed. They don't have time to get back in their vehicle. A huge mistake I make right here is waiting right there in front of that doorway. That guy should have been able to get me. That was a really bad mistake on my part to just stand there like that. But it worked out. Having that AKM, it has such, such a strong caliber. It puts out a lot of damage really quick, and it saved my life. So I'm going to throw these grenades between throwing my bandages because I didn't want that guy I knocked to get revived. But I have relayed the situation to Scuba. Scuba, if you'll watch up on the screen, you'll see him. He tracks around this whole building, keeping an eye on this guy, making sure he doesn't leave. I'm trying to, if he can keep an eye out and tell me what's going on, that's what he's doing. He's relaying his position to me so I can try and get a beat on him. So I pop in, pop out, get a couple hits. But now that I've got my crosshairs on him, I actually want to just stay in this position so I can hit him if he sticks his head out. But then I noticed I only had 2 rounds left, so I repositioned myself and get an easy knock and kill right there. So what could have been a bad situation for me turned into 2 kills. Now, if you're going to ambush people, you need to have an escape plan. My escape plan should have been opening that door. When these guys rush up, I should have been able to get out if I needed to. But I didn't have the door open, and it cost me. So even though I had 6 kills, just not having that door open cost me. So earlier you saw me assault a building, now you're going to see me defend a building. So I'm watching a third-person perspective, but that does no good. As soon as I get hit, I have to evaluate what just happened. I saw the blood spatter come from the window, and that's the only thing I could think of is the guy that I heard on the stairs had relayed my position to somebody outside, and sure enough, there he is. So thinking quick, using my sound, watching the blood spatter, allowed me to react fast enough to actually get a knock. Now I still know that the guy on the stairs probably knows I'm here. I haven't seen him yet, but I have been moving around. I know he hears me, and now that I've started shooting, I know, if he's smart, he's going to come. I have paid attention, and I told my friends, told my team where I knocked that guy and that there are people on my position. So I'm just giving them a chance to kind of get in where they need to, and also even provide a little sniper support for them, but I still have to watch my back. Bad thing is, I wasn't watching my fire rate. But when he ran away, instead of going back into that room I was at, I decided to go to the left here. That way, his memory will be ingrained that I'm over to the in that little room and not over here, and maybe I can surprise him. So I also want to switch to my grenade because I want to start pushing him, and instead of letting him push me, I want to control the situation, put him on the defensive. So I use that grenade to try and push the stairs and then hold the stairs, but then he throws a grenade back and I have to retreat. So I waited a second. I probably should have moved a little bit faster just in case he tried to rush me. But he paused a little longer than I did. I was able to get the jump on him and get the kill. So we're just going to fast forward a little bit. We're about to get out of this area. We hear these cars pulling up. Stryker is relaying what's going on. And then I see the guy hop out right here. So I wasn't sure if we were going to try and engage him or not, but I wanted to get into a better position, a little bit closer to my team, and Stryker gets knocked. So to protect Stryker, I try to react as fast as I can. I really thought I was going to knock that guy, but he ends up getting away, and so I just rush over to help Stryker out. To help with your general sense of awareness, whenever you start reviving a teammate, hit RB, just start spinning your camera. It has just become habit for me. I usually make about 2 circles while I'm reviving that person, just watching our backs, watching our flank, trying to get a feel for what's going on. Also, when I run, I am always doing the same thing. Hold RB, spin the camera. I run one way, look a different way. I'm just keeping an eye out on our left. If if you'll notice the rest of my teammates, they're kind of going, they got tunnel vision. They're just running to get in the building. This one shuts the door. I'm not putting any of them down. They did a great job. But I told the last one, hey, hold on, don't shut the door. I want to watch our backs. And sure enough, I see a guy coming up behind us, and I just wanted to wait until I could get him in a kill zone. Or maybe he's going to run past us. If he does, I'll leave him alone. But when he gets a little closer, I decided to maybe just throw a grenade. And if he'd kept running, I would have just left him alone. But I did switch to the AKM for a little bit more stopping power. And when I get that clear shot, in and out, boom, get the kill. So now we got to decide where we're going to go to for this final circle. I usually look for dark spots on the mini-map. That usually means hill structure. And I always want to get into, try to go, follow the circle around this late in the game. So when we start leaving, we know there could be people in these other buildings. We didn't really want to engage them. It's too late to start fighting. It's when your whole team can get knocked, or you can lose half your team. So when I saw that this little hill over here, I told the whole team to follow me. We all dropped down in here. But I'm constantly watching my surroundings. This is going to keep you from getting shot in the back. This will let you know where people are at. And then also using that scope, watching all the trees. You got to think, where are they hiding? Where would they be? Where would I be if I was already over there? So it's just constantly checking the, scouting, looking. Watch how often I spin my camera and move my camera around. I'm just constantly looking and looking and looking. I don't like being shot in the back, and I don't like being surprised. So that's why I'm always moving. When I saw that little head move, I was telling Foul, there's a guy behind him. Foul moves out of the way. Boom, we start shooting at him. Striker saw him as well. Striker gets the kill. So the circle's moving in. I'm sort of the scout here. I didn't know who threw that smoke. I ended up asking the team. Scuba said he threw it for cover for us. But I was hearing gunfire just beyond the smoke, so I'm being very, very careful and cautious. And remember, if you're the scout, if you're the guy in the front, you have to be able to relay information back, good intel back to your teammates. So I know they're coming behind me. They're watching my back. I'm checking all these trees. I'm about to take a peek down this hill. And when I do, I see a guy. And I see he had a grenade, so I just back up. But I've let my teammates know. Foulmaster's kind of moving into a flanking position. And when I saw that guy's head peek up, I let Foul know for sure there's a guy moving up. And instead of just trying to push, I'm kind of using myself as a decoy. Foul gets an easy knock right there. I'm just taking a peek to see if there was a second guy, since he didn't die immediately. And we'll go ahead and just finish him off. And kind of returning into my position. Want to get some painkillers in. Get ready. We only have 3 people left. No, 2 people left. Sorry about that. So we have a really good chance of winning this now. And we actually really liked the spot. We had the high ground. We were able to look down on these guys. But when I take a peek over here, there is not a lot of cover. So I'm not super pleased with having to come down this hill. Now, I also want to go over something right here. I do this all the time. When I start getting shot at, I just start running faster trying to get to cover. But sometimes it's more important to just stop and take a few shots at that person, make them take cover, and then you can run to your own cover. I noticed that about myself. I used to just try to run to cover as much as I could and then attack someone, but when I was dying a lot that way, I switched that tactic over where I shot instead of tried to get to cover. And it's more of a 50-50 chance. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't, but I feel like my odds have improved. I still wanted to move on a flank that guy. It worked out. We did lose Striker. But what was interesting is I thought it was going to be 2 guys. And then we find out that it's 3 versus 1. We're in a really good position. So I'm just kind of scouting out the whole area, making sure, but we think he's up there. And sure enough, Scuba sees him and gets the kill. Anyways, just self-evaluate yourself. See what's killing you, and then try to make changes accordingly. Hope that helps.